Hi, I am Jacqueline Bojorquez.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Aguilar.
Hello, my name is Daniel Ruiz.
Hi, my name is Noemi Delgado.
I've never attended a political conference, but I expect it to be very straightforward, a lot of policies.
To me, it feels like I know about the places where action happens, where change happens.
I'm very excited about this trip to D.C. I expect them to really open their horizons, really see that there's so much more out there.
A lot of Latino communities are still trying to fight for their rights and for equality.
I really think is the idea of exposing our students to a new city, to a new state, to traveling in general.
Students will have an opportunity to display and showcase the skills that they've been practicing at the community college level.
Now that we're going to the National Archives, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to feel, but I know it's different seeing the actual documents than reading about it or seeing it in history textbooks. So I am excited.
These students are going to have the exposure to practice, critical reading, engage with research. They're meeting with legislators, and they're presenting what they believe students need, right? So it's all the skills that they've already sort of practiced here in the community college, but maybe have not had an avenue for. And this sort of concentrates all of these skills and puts it into a 2-day experience.
Right, because we're going to have a really good opportunity tomorrow, right? We get to speak for our families, we get to speak for our mothers, we get to speak for our fathers, we get to represent Sacramento, right? And we get to be a part of a larger community. This is really an amazing experience, everybody, and you're living up to it.
Attending the HACU event, at first it was kind of intimidating. I didn't know what we were going to be expecting. I was a bit lost until they started mentioning of what they wanted us to do, our objective, which was our ask for senators to join the HSI caucus and requesting on funding.
Were you nervous talking to any of the Congress and Senate?
I actually was not. I was really nervous at the beginning of the week, the first couple of days, but the day of, I did not feel nervous, and I knew if I was going to mess up that it was okay.
Can I have all the students stand up and be recognized?
I learned networking skills, so I guess I always knew that networking was important, but I never realized just how important it was, and it felt like every time we would be talking, it just go right back to networking.
I keep doing this year after year, and I think the one thing that keeps me motivated is to see the real impact that I've had on the students' lives who have already traveled. Seeing the personal impact and change in them is what keeps me motivated.
So my thoughts are that I saw a lot of Raza names on there, and all this discrimination that goes on, I feel like it's disrespectful, and also while walking down the Vietnam War wall, it's kind of sad, but I also give a lot of respect for those people that fought in that war, and all those names that I saw, I respect them. We only had time to visit one monument, which was the Lincoln Memorial Monument, and it was a good experience being there because that's where Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech, and that speech inspires me because I also have a dream to be successful here.
That no one was going to have time for us, and that they really weren't going to want to hear from us, that they were going to want to hear from the adults in the room. But once we got into the meetings, the focus was on us.
In Washington, D.C., we had the opportunity to meet 2 interns, Susana and Diego. Susana was a former student at Sacramento City College, then transferred to Sac State, and now she's interning in Washington, D.C. They dedicated their time to show us around Washington, D.C., and also they made sure that we had fun in Washington, D.C., such as a night of bowling.
part of the Congressional Hispanic Leadership Institute program, I was placed in Congressman Cuellar's office where I helped legislative staff. I did, intern work. I was able to meet different members of Congress. I was able to participate in Laredo Day, where over 80 members of Congress were there, interacting with the community because we do represent a big portion of our Latino community because we're right across the border from Mexico.
So my favorite things that actually happened at NASA was actually meeting different types of people who have different types of jobs at the Goddard Space Station, and things I didn't even know, such as some people actually had a bachelor's in history, which still had a job in NASA. There was many opportunities to receive from there. We also got to meet a celebrity who actually is inventing the new James Webb Space Telescope that will be launching soon. And it was actually an honor, and being able to see the telescope being prepared for launch is pretty awesome.
I would definitely do it again, and I would recommend that Sac City continues doing this for the next years to come.